This is Unhustling with Luis Baez. Hey, it's Luis Baez, and you're about to see the exact system that I've used for over a decade to book discovery calls through LinkedIn. No ads, no cold calling, no events. This is just a repeatable method that books 3 to 5 qualified discovery calls every single week. And I'm going to give you the entire thing right now. Before we get into the method, you need to know why I'm qualified to teach this. See, I was one of the first million users on LinkedIn over 20 years ago, and I didn't just use it casually. I was recruited to lead sales teams at LinkedIn, Google, Uber, and Tesla. I've trained over 50,000 professionals through LinkedIn Learning, and across my career, the revenue impact that I've had is over $600 million. Now, here's what I do with this method today. 750 connection requests every month. That turns into 11 to 12 discovery calls booked, which turns into 3 to 4 new clients closed. And I'm doing this in just 15 minutes a day from DMs alone. No ads, no cold calling, no networking events, just systematic LinkedIn outreach. And this is the system behind those numbers. Now, here's why LinkedIn works better than email or some other prospecting channel you might be using. You see, the average cold email response rate is 2.1%. And LinkedIn DMs, that response rate is 10.3% on average. And that is 5 times the engagement. Same effort for 5 times the results. This isn't just theory. This is data from LinkedIn itself. So if you're still relying on referrals and on emails only, you're definitely leaving opportunity on the table. Now, most people are on LinkedIn, but most people are doing it wrong. Here's what's probably killing your DM response rate. There's the instant pitch. I help companies grow revenue. Want to chat? Nobody cares. You just met me, right? Then there's the vague compliment. Hey, great profile. Let's connect. That's lazy, generic, and spammy. Then there's the wall of text, sending a 7-paragraph essay that nobody's going to read. And then there's also stepping into the wrong crowd where you're not even talking to your ideal buyer. You're just in circles with your colleagues. Here's the real issue when you're thinking about DMs through LinkedIn. You're interrupting without earning the right to their attention. And that's what this method fixes. Now, here's the game-changing perspective. You see, most people message everyone on LinkedIn. You're going to message the 37%. Here's how buyer awareness works. You see, 60% of people are not problem aware. They don't even know that they have the issue that you solve. Skip them. You can't educate someone in a DM, right? Then there are 20% of folks who are problem aware. They know that they have a problem, but they're not really sure what to do about it. This is your sweet spot. Then 17% are information gathering. They're actively researching solutions, and that's why they come to LinkedIn, high intent, high engagement. This is also your sweet spot. And then there are 3% of people who are buying now. They are ready to sign a contract. And that's great, but that's only 3% of folks on LinkedIn. And most likely someone else has already engaged them. It might be a bit too late to get in, not enough juice for the squeeze, right? So your DMs should target that 37%, the 20 plus the 17, people who are problem aware and people who are information gathering. Everyone else, just ignore them. You're not here to educate the masses. You are here to book qualified calls. So we want to be really homed in. So how do you actually find these people? Well, that's where Sales Navigator comes in. On the left, you're seeing that you're building your search using filters. You're using things like job titles, company size, industry, geography. And here's one key thing: activity. You want to make sure that as you're applying filters, that you're also making sure that they've posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. If someone's posting, they're engaged. They're thinking about their business, they're reachable. On the right here, we're looking for intent signals. We're looking at things like recent job changes. That's a transition. Transitions create problems. Is the company hiring? That's scaling. Scaling also creates challenges. Keywords like pipeline, revenue, growth, scaling, things like that in their posts or their profile, that's also intent, right? Any recent posts about their challenges in the space, also, bingo, these are your folks, right? And here's what I want you to avoid. I really want you to avoid inactive profiles. If there are no posts in the last 6 months, they're not on LinkedIn. Skip them. I also want you to be cognizant of job titles that are outside of any decision-making authority. Otherwise, you might be wasting your time. And then here's what I want you to do. I want you to save this search, run it weekly, add 25 new prospects to it every day, right? And that discipline, that's what gets you to the 750 requests. Now, before you send a single connection request, your profile needs to be dialed in, because when they see a blank request from you, the first thing that they're going to do is click on your profile. And your profile has one job. It's to make them want to accept. So here's the checklist real quick for you. Photo, right? Clear face, professional lighting, approachable expression, nothing stiff, no stiff corporate headshots, and definitely avoid AI. We want to present human. We want to be trustworthy. We want to use all the stats around that to your favor. Then there's the headline. This is not your job title. Nobody cares that you're a founder and a CEO. Your headline is who you serve plus what problem you solve. You also want to think about your banner at the top, right? Leverage your brand colors, throw in your value proposition, flash your method name. You want to make it really visual just to make it memorable as well. Then there's your about section, and I want you to focus on those first 3 lines. This is what shows up before that see more button that they have to click. And in those 3 lines, I want to see the problem, solution, result. That's it. If they have to click see more to understand what you do, you've already lost them. Then I want you to revisit your featured section. I want you to pin 2 or 3 lead magnets or case studies, interviews you've done, any of your frameworks, any of the content that you use to promote yourself. You want to make it really easy for them to get value from you immediately as soon as they land on your profile. Then I want you to think about your activity, right? You want to make sure that you've posted in the last 7 days. You want proof that you're active, proof that you're relevant, and proof that you're worth following and connecting with. When they see your request, remember, your profile should make them want to accept. All right, now here it is. This is the complete resonance booking method. This is broken out into 5 steps spread over 21 days. And the goal is to book 3 to 5 discovery calls each week. The first step in the method is to send the request, and this will be blank, no note. You want to let your profile do the work and see if there's resonance with what it is that you say. The second step is after they've accepted the connection request, 24 to 48 hours later, you're going to drop an introduction text. This is your opportunity to start building rapport, but also leverage the seeding formula that I'm going to walk you through in just a second. The third step is 7 days after that, you'll then slide in with a voice memo. This is the pattern interrupt from all the AI automations and all the slop that's out there, right? This is your pattern interrupt, and you want to offer them a self-diagnosis tool. I'll break this down in a second as well. The next step, 7 days after that, is your second voice memo. If they didn't bite on the first one, this is your opportunity to reframe the problem and offer an alternative diagnosis to what it is that they might be going through. The final steps, 7 days after that, is your final touch point. This is the nudge text, right? You'll send this message quick and breezy, and then you stop. This isn't aggressive. This is strategic. We know that people are quite busy and they'll never ever respond to your first nudge, right? What you're doing is you're giving them four chances to engage or four different entry points to start a conversation with you. And if they don't respond after this, then they're just not your person. You move on. Now let's break down step two after they've accepted the connection request, the intro text. Again, this happens 24 to 48 hours after they've accepted your connection request. You want to keep this to 300 to 400 characters. You want to keep it short, conversational, really breezy. Now here's the formula. Step A, show appreciation. Hey, so and so, always great to connect with a fellow founder. Always great to connect with a chief marketing officer, right? Make yourself relevant while also showing appreciation and drawing that connection. Then you want to show interest. Hey, I'm looking forward to learning more about your perspective on omni-channel marketing strategies, right? You want to pull something very specific that you noted on their profile as an area of expertise or a post or something that they've done recently. Then the next line is to seed the pitch. Well, as for me, I work with marketing leaders on LinkedIn automation campaigns, right? You want to start to seed what it is that you do, but not be pitchy. You want to acknowledge that you've shown their interest. You want to seed that pitch, and then you want to quickly, disarm them from thinking that this is a sales pitch, but the final signal of intention. I'll be looking out for your updates in my feed. Again, no hard pitch, no link drops, right? You're just planting a seed, and that's it. Now they know who you are, what you do, and that you're paying attention. 7 days later, you send voice memo number one. And this is where the magic starts to happen. You're going to keep this under a minute. And here's the structure. First, you're going to personalize and relate. Hey, so and so, great team photo in your post, right? You want to reference something real, something recent, show them that you're still paying attention. Then you want to express curiosity in the next line. Hey, I took another look at your profile and content. I saw this, I saw that, right? You want to show them that you're doing your research and that you're thinking about them. Next, I want you to explore what their desire might be. Hey, I wonder as a CMO whether you're having issues with your inbound process, et cetera, et cetera. What you're doing here is you're diagnosing, you're not pitching, right? And to make sure that you're not cornering yourself that way, the next thing you're going to do is offer some relief. Hey, I'd like to give you this tool. It will offer you relief with that inbound bottleneck that you might be experiencing. Again, you're offering value. This is not a sales call, right? Instead, you're putting in their hands a tool, a framework, or a checklist, something that will actually give them leverage. And then you want to round this by getting consent. Hey, would this help? Let me know and I'll send it over. Again, the way that you move is you do everything permission based. Be collaborative, not pushy, not salesy. This works because you're using your voice, you're being human, you're not just another automated text message, right? And you're building trust with a diagnostic offer, not a pitch. 7 days after that first voice memo, if they haven't responded, we send that second voice memo. Same length, under a minute, we just come in at a different angle. First, you acknowledge and you connect and you say something like, hey, so and so, I hope you're okay. You came to mind. Then you want to reframe the problem. I've been thinking about your issue. I'm wondering if it could also be this technical thing, this lack of software, this lack of process, right? What you're showing them is that you're thinking strategically and that you're capable of seeing the problem from multiple dimensions. Then you want to lean in and share some insights. Hey, I've noticed a similar problem with my clients. I'm seeing this trend. They're all using this tool. It's not working for them. They shift to this other one. They see results faster. right? That's when you start to build authority. You're showing pattern recognition. You're showing that you're in the game and that you talk to people and you understand what's going on in their world. Then you want to lean in and make an alternative offer. Hey, you know what? I've got a different tool that might help you figure out this thing from a different angle with this other tool, right? It's not the same thing that you offered the last time. It's around the same problem, but it's a different entry point. And then you want to round this out by inviting a response. Hey, does this resonate? Let me know. Happy to send it your way. Here's why this works. You gave them tool A in the first voice memo for the first angle of the problem. You're giving them tool B in the second memo for this other angle of the problem, right? Different angle, same value, and then they get to choose what resonates. That's what's awesome about this method. Now, if they haven't responded, it's all good. We're not taking it personally, right? 7 days later, we're just going to send a final nudge. This will be a short text, 200 to 300 characters. That's it. First, you're going to acknowledge the silence. Hey, so-and-so, just wanted to check in one last time. You're being honest, you're being direct, right? You're calling it what it is. Next, you want to reference the value that you offered. Hey, did you get a chance to consider that tool that I mentioned, that framework that I offered? Right? You want to remind them what you gave. You want to remind them that you didn't come in with a pitch. You came in trying to really solution with them. Then you want to just give them permission, right? You don't want to shame anyone for not responding to you. You want to say something like, hey, I respect that right now it's just not the right time to prioritize this, right? You're showing respect. You're not being needy. You're not being pushy. Then the next step is to leave the door open. You want to say something like, hey, when you're ready to chat about that bottleneck or about that tool that might not be working for you, I'm here, right? Then you just quickly sign it off. This will always be to your continued success. Thank you so much, right? That is the way that you leave that message, and then you stop. You've offered them value 3 times. You've given them 4 chances to engage with you, right? So if they haven't responded by now, they're just not ready. Move on. Let them come to you when the timing is right, because you're connected. They'll continue to see your follow-up, your posts and the things that you share, and you'll continue to build on that following. So here's what happens when you run this system with discipline. 25 connection requests per day, every single day. That's 750 requests per month. That's 225 new connections at a 30% acceptance rate, right? Making sure that your profile resonates and that you're targeting the right people through your Sales Navigator filters, right? That then translates to 11 to 12 discovery calls booked at a conservative 5% booking rate. That leads to 3 to 4 new clients closed at a 33% close rate, making sure that your discovery process is tight, making sure that your proposal delivery is also tight. Again, we're talking about the same LinkedIn, just a different strategy, predictable results, right? This isn't magic. This is math. And math works when you work the system. Now, here's the thing. The resonance booking method books discovery calls, but discovery calls aren't revenue. You need 3 systems to turn those calls into cash flow. First is booked. That's your client acquisition system, getting calls on repeat, which is part of what you just learned. Then there's busy, your service delivery system. You want to fulfill without burnout, because if you can't deliver at scale, then you just won't grow. Then there's paid. That's your business operating system. This is your cash flow on autopilot. We're talking the billing, the metrics, the renewals, all on automation. Then this all combined together is your complete revenue system for founders, coaches, and consultants. You have the booking method. Now build the system. Book your strategy call at bookbusypaid.com. Thank you again. I appreciate you for rocking with me. Again, remember, revenue is the start. The legacy you build is the point. So let's begin. You've been listening to Unhustling with Luis Baez. If this episode resonated, then share it with someone who needs to hear it. New episodes drop every Sunday. Subscribe at unhustling.com so you never miss one.